poverty is the biggest assault on childhood. I'm a child abuse, child protection specialist, and I've seen years and years at Children's Hospital. I've seen the underbelly of what adults will do to hurt children. I've seen it. And even with that, even with dead on arrivals and children who have been raped and children who have no lights left in their eyes, and I've seen it. I've seen thousands of cases of this over years. I would say to you that poverty is even more insidious and more widespread in terms of what it does to childhood. So homelessness is one manifestation of poverty, but these children come into an environment where other children who are struggling with poverty are experiencing other kinds of problems. And the biggest challenge is, how do we focus on the unique needs of the children who do not have shelter? And I would say to you that even painful life situations, if they're stable, are better than no stability. And so when you don't know where you're going to put your head, and you don't know where you're going to get your next meal, it is such a defiance of a child's entitlement to childhood. Who are the children in the district that need the community to wrap themselves around them? They're poor and they're black. And if in fact all children are not equally valued, you won't develop a system that's coherent and responsive. There's a quiet writing off some of the children. So who are the children? And is there something about them that we don't claim them? Because if we claim them, we'll hold ourselves accountable to making sure they get primal care, basic care. Because if they don't, they will die. Or grow up and before they're 25, kill themselves off. Well, if you imagine an adult with a young dependent child living out in the streets, you'll see just how unacceptable that is when you think about all other forms of human life have nests. And the human being actually has to have a nest longer than any other form of life before it becomes an adult. So being on the street is being without a nest, being without some safe place where the child can be nurtured and fed and loved and grown. If you think about other forms of human life, lions, animals, any other form, they know that without the nest, their children will be prey. If you do not keep your children safe in this nest and you let them rove through the community, what are you saying to them? It's like akin to going into Vietnam with no weaponry. And the predators are disguised. The assailants are disguised. You're going to send your children to the world, and this is what happens on the street. Drug dealers, pimps, people who write your child off in the school system, the teacher who announced to everyone in this community, oh, Sharon is homeless, and we were appalled, and we went in, of course, and intervened with her in the school. Because once you get labeled homeless, then no one has to deliver good results for you. These are all predators. This is all assaults. So when the child is living on the street with the parent, they're subject to every kind of injury there is, from physical to emotional to deprivation to being exploited to being used to being exposed. It's totally unacceptable. They cannot possibly be healthy or well that way, even for a moment. So coming into this model in Montgomery County, the families who have qualified as having no place to go, when they come in this model, what they experience are kind of a two-pronged approach. Structure, because structure is a protective feature for kids who are assaulted by poverty, disability, lack of community support, etc. the structure of rituals, of getting up in the morning, teaching the parents how to make sure their kids have snacks. We've had parents that didn't know their children had to be put to bed at 2, that they'll bounce around until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and then all kinds of things happen that are not good for the parent and the child. The other side of the structure is absolute nurturing, absolute cheerleading, absolute investment in their dreams and their visions. And when they leave, usually after about 4 months, 3 to 4 months when they leave, a real celebration of their ability to be the family leader and to provide permanent housing, good, healthy, warm, safe housing for their children. Sometimes the families leave with the rules of the shelter that they stick on their homes when they move. And they've learned that it's about building a nest. Some parents already know that, and they're so profoundly appreciative to that we're almost humbled by the appreciation. What an opportunity. We have child care here that's designed like a professional child care center. We have case management supports. We get referred to doctors and mental health supports. We have meals prepared. We get to save our money. We get guidance about how to strategize. We learn about how to discipline our children, how to support them through their reactions to our homelessness. And we learn that, in fact, we are models for our children if we can move them through this and we can show them that a slump in life doesn't dictate the end result. Families do not raise children in this contemporary world without community and institutional supports. None of us do it. I have had 5. I did not do it myself. Schools, churches, healthcare providers, I did not do it by myself. Neighbors and friends. And so the first part of what we have to recognize is that the children are entitled to not just the parent delivering the goods, but the parent is entitled to the community supporting them in doing it. That's the profound connection. So the parent doesn't become the problem person. Now, clearly, we do see a variety of reasons why families are in this dilemma. Some of it is that we have parents who are dependent personalities, who never got good enough themselves, and manipulate the system because they're survivors and may not be always truthful about their resources or what their agenda is, or may not be disciplined. But the connection to us is still there. We can't write them off, and you can't punish them into delivering the goods for their children. We must still partner with them to deliver goods for their children. It's the children, stupid. It's child advocacy. It's understanding the fundamental investment required for these children, and that we all benefit when we make the investment. And we must partner with the parent. The children need the parent. Children do see how their parents are being treated, and they get confused about what that means. Do I now not listen to my parent? Is my parent a failure? If my parent is a failure, then I am too. So it's absolutely dysfunctional to be punitive to the parent. Challenging them, educating them on community expectations, holding them accountable, absolutely. But not from a judgmental, punitive approach. It's got to be a caring, nurturing approach. My earlier comment, they need affection and validation too. We all do. I need my pediatrician to tell me, your children are just so healthy. You have a beautiful baby. You should have some more, even though I didn't plan to. But I need to be validated that I'm doing okay as a parent. I need the teacher to say, your child is doing well. Thank you for the support in the classroom. I want to be validated, and I have all of this credential, and I still want to be validated. Parenting is the hardest job there is. It's really absolutely the hardest job there is. And so I think that the punitive shelters are perpetuating tragedies. You're not empowering anyone, and they're undermining the child's self-worth. Undermine the child's self-worth.